Lost in the endless expanse of this arid high desert, an oasis appears like a glistening sapphire, lined with reeds and grasses and the comforting shelter of trees, a welcome sight for any living thing. But it's no easy life out here. Predators lurk, and they're not here just to quench their thirst. The oasis gives life, and the oasis takes it away. This morning, we left our campsite by the canyon and trekked across the desert, muddied by yesterday's rains. We're out here developing an extension to the Bend-Alvord route, checking roads and seeking out points of interest. A dead-end spur heading towards an unnamed spring caught our eye on the map. Our expectations weren't high. Springs in the Oregon high desert are often little more than a large mud puddle, generally being trampled by rangeland cattle. We most definitely were not expecting this.
So that is a really cool little spot. In fact, it's so cool that we've decided to camp there tonight, even though it's a little early in the day. Ultimately, we feel that's a better point of interest than where we were headed to. It being early in the day, I'm actually still going to explore a little bit of the area. I see on the map a few little roads that look like they might go to some spots that I might find interesting. Jason's going to stay there at the spring and do some exploring and filming that he wants to do. And then I'll come back in a little bit and get camp set up, and this is where we'll stay for the night. So just as a point of reference, I think the spot I'm trying to get to is right up on top of that cliff. And we'll see if the road gets there. So the road up onto that butte should be right here, but there is just nothing. I don't even see a hint of what used to be an old road. I don't see any cut, I don't see anything. Yeah, I poked around all in there. I found another road that was sort of going in the right direction. It looked like there was something that was gonna connect up, but I just cannot find an actual road that goes up onto that little bluff or butte or whatever. So, oh well. It's weird that there's road data there for it, but no actual road.
I don't have a very powerful telephoto lens, but I'm very much enjoying watching this coyote. These are shy animals, and anytime I ever get close enough for a good look, they always scurry away instantly. Tucked into the sagebrush across the spring, it's a real treat to just watch this guy go about his business without concern.
Saw that coyote. If he kept moving at the rate he was moving, I'm sure he's long gone. But I thought maybe he would keep circling the pond or the spring. Every time I've encountered coyote in the past, they've been very, very spooky. They just try to run away. I don't want to, startle it either. I have no idea what these birds are. They all sort of stay together. They make a lot of noise. But as soon as one gets spooked, they all fly off together and move to a different tree. And then after a few seconds of sitting in the new tree, they start singing like that again. I guess I'm not enough to spook them. Where do they go? It gets all quiet. I think maybe these are some kind of willow. These trees down here along the spring. And I'm sure that's not native out here, even along water areas. I mean, that's my guess. If you know for sure what kind of tree this is, comment below. I'm assuming that one or two got planted by whoever homesteaded here, and then they sort of spread around the spring. The last spot I saw the coyote was right about there, on the other side of the water. That's probably long gone. Or he's hiding and watching me. Dun dun dun.
Based on the size, structure, and tooth layout, and our location out here, I think this must have been a badger.
It's so quiet out here. You can hear the sounds of the bird's wings. Can you see him out there?
In addition to the cabin by the spring, there's also a pretty sizable rock-walled corral that blends so well into the landscape that I would have missed it entirely if Jason hadn't pointed it out to me.
Just for a sense of scale, this wall is actually taller than me.
I'm not gonna lie, this is absolutely stunning. firewood I gathered.
Even though we've been driving for days, we've looped around in such a way that Steen's Mountain, which was basically our starting point, has come back into view, shimmering gloriously with fresh snow that must have fallen when we were getting rained on. It's the first sunrise of this trip where we've actually been able to see the sun. The desert lighting up at dawn is a phenomenon that is unmatched by mornings in the mountains, as this vast 360-degree vista emerges from the dark, vivid golden tones contrasting subtle pastel shades. The Oasis wildlife has begun to stir, and I've spotted more than just the ducks moving about.
There's our coyote friend again. Oh, I've spotted some more wildlife. Lurking in the trees. It's primal man.
So nice to have a beautiful blue sky for once. Been dealing with a lot of overcast and clouds and fog, and it's nice to see the desert in its in all its full color. We're driving right along the very, very edge of the Jordan Crater's lava flow. The funny thing is, this is actually a road that I wanted to take going in the other direction when I came out here on my trip a year and a half ago. And I just ran out of time. I couldn't make it this far down because I had someone to meet the next morning. But so I'm really happy to finally drive this road and see this lava flow. Is really cool. So this is the Jordan Crater's lava flow. It's just from a couple of thousand years ago. It's the most recent flow of lava in the state of Oregon. What you see here is actually just a small arm of it. It extends for an unbelievable distance out into the southeast from us here. Right along this route, there's a little side trip to what's called Coffee Pot Crater, and that's the spot where the most recent lava has come out, and this is just a massive, spectacular, well, I'll show you right here. This is what it looks like. It's totally worth the little side trip to go and visit Coffee Pot Crater. It's really spectacular, especially if you're interested in geology, geological formations. This was not actually part of our original intended route, but we ended up in this direction because we discovered that little spring yesterday. And by coming this way, I think we've actually discovered a more interesting potential routing for the final route. I love it. The road goes right on this sort of smooth, flat part of the lava flow. Really cool. If you watched my first Eastern Oregon trip in the Forester about 1.5 years ago, this next little bit will look familiar. We've stumbled on part of the route that I did before. This is another old rock corral out here. Poking around, it's easy to stumble upon artifacts of the people who lived and worked on these lands many ages ago. This fragment from a Lee and Perrins bottle appears to date to around 1900. Nearby stands the ruins of another stone cabin.
This would have been warm, it'd been cozy, it'd been enough for a bed, right? You know? It'd be all you need. Like, I live in less than this space, but like this would be to me this would be a very nice space, you know, to live in.
This largely unplanned derivation from our original route along the canyon has proven to be well worth the miles, yielding some interesting and unexpected points of interest. But now, it's time to return to the Owyhee and venture to the bottom of these rugged and unique canyonlands where, in Part 4, we'll discover yet more history and more jaw-dropping scenery. Subscribe now so you don't miss an episode, and thank you for watching.